What is the next move for the Chicago Bears? Welcome into Bears Now by Chat Sports. I'm Harrison Graham. Yes, if you joined our live show earlier today, my voice is shot. I'm battling some things, but we are here to discuss more on the Bears in NFL free agency, as obviously things have quieted down really across the league today, but especially for Chicago. If in case you missed it or if you just want a quick recap, this is what the Bears have done so far. If you include the two trades, Jonah Jackson, Joe Thuney on board to play guard. Drew Dalman comes in as the team's center. Dayo Odeyingbo is going to be one of your newest pass rushers. Grady Jarrett comes in to be a defensive tackle. And then Scott Daly back as the long snapper, which means Patrick Scales. The Patrick Scales era is over. The longest tenured Bear will not be back in 2025. All right, you take a look at some of the top Bears needs right now. Running back, I think that'll be handled in the draft. We're going to look at some available free agents in a second. I don't think they sign a running back. Number 3 wide receiver, safety, left tackle competition, and then some more depth along the offensive line. So before we take a look at some free agents at some of those positions, what say you? Name a free agent that the Bears should go out and sign. Go ahead and drop his name in the comment section down below. Who would you like to see the Bears sign next? How about bringing back Keenan Allen? Keenan Allen still available. It's been pretty quiet. He said during the season that he'd like to either re-sign with Chicago or go back to the West Coast. So when you think about potential West Coast teams, I think the Raiders could certainly use another receiver. Could the Niners bring him on board after they traded Deebo Samuel? They've cut a lot of players too, should have some cap space to spend. I don't think the Rams, after they got Devontae Adams, but maybe a team like going back to the Chargers could make sense. They missed out on DK Metcalf. Could the Bears still be in play to bring him back? Caleb Williams has spoken highly about him. If the price tag gets low enough, I wouldn't completely rule it out. Cooper Kupp is another one. He is technically, as we're filming this, not been cut yet, but the expectation is he will before the start of the new league year. Excellent blocker. His route running and certainly separation ability has diminished over the last couple of years as he's dealt with numerous injuries and is getting a little bit older, but still has reliable hands, still can get open enough, and again, willing blocker, and in a Ben Johnson offense, that plays a vital role. Would he want to come to Chicago and be kind of a third fiddle behind DJ Moore and Rome Odunze? I'm not sure. You would wonder if those kind of McVay disciple teams like Minnesota would try to bring him on board, but for the right price, I would be interested. Same thing with Tyler Lockett. All three of these guys, kind of similar stages of their careers, past their prime, but still players who can be productive, give you some different things. Lockett, I think, could plug and play in the slot. What does a price tag for him look like? I don't really know. Out of those three guys, I would guess Keenan Allen gets the most, Kupp second most, Lockett third, but I think all three will be in a similar price range. If that price tag gets below $10 million in the single million digits there, then maybe Ryan Poles would take a swing. And then you get to a couple lesser names that should definitely cost less, but are just system plug-and-play guys that can do the job. Tim Patrick, good blocker, played in Ben Johnson's offense last year, had 2 years that he missed due to a torn ACL and a torn Achilles, but bounced back. I think played all 17 games last year. Before those injuries, had back-to-back 700-yard seasons. So, he's not going to be a high-end wide receiver 3, but he could do the job, won't cost a lot of money, and is a willing blocker. Same with Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds didn't have a great year last year with the Jaguars and the Broncos. Kind of split the season there, got traded at the deadline. But 2 years ago and the year prior to that, he played with the Lions and had 2 productive seasons, knows the offense. I think when he's right, he's a good number 3 receiver. He can block as well. So if you want to go on the cheaper end and get a guy that can do the job properly and not break the bank for, Josh Reynolds, Tim Patrick, couple of guys to keep in mind. Who do you guys want as the Bears wide receiver 3? Drop his name down in the comment section below and let us know. Okay, Jedrick Wills Jr., you talk about left tackle competition. A guy that has some skins on the wall in terms of being a former first-round pick for the Cleveland Browns. Never quite materialized into that in Cleveland, but, sometimes a starter, sometimes a backup. I think this could fit the bill of hey, take a flyer on a guy who's talented but has not put it all together because it's not going to cost a lot of money, but you could bring him in. He could get some reps with the ones in the offseason program while Braxton Jones recovers from injury. He could compete in there with a guy like Karan Amagaji, see what you got there. Maybe it's a swing tackle. Maybe it is an answer at left tackle long term. Who knows? But I'd be intrigued because he's a former top 15 pick in the NFL draft just a few years ago. Shout out to Mando for sponsoring today's show. I wish they had a cure for my hoarse voice, but they're going to get you smelling right. I love the deodorant wipes, easy to take on the go. Rub yourself down from head to toe. You're going to be smelling good as new. You know what a non-negotiable is on a first date? Deodorant. Well, how about whole body deodorant? That is what Mando offers with their several different products. I mentioned the deodorant wipes, but several others that I am a big fan of as well, including the mini body wash, the cream tube deodorant, solid stick deodorant, and much more. Mando is clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours, and it's better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's Grundle odor level was a 5 out of 10. With Mando, it's a 0 out of 10. It'll stop odor before it starts. It is baking soda free and paraben free. Check out America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now and find them in retailers at Walmart, Target, and others. All you got to do is go to shopmando.com. Get the starter pack for $5 off with code CHAT at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com for over 40% off with code CHAT. Check out Mando today. We appreciate you guys for supporting our sponsors. Link is in the comments and the description. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence with head to toe with Mando. Another intriguing option is Joseph Noteboom. He was signed to be the starting left tackle a few years ago with the Rams, kind of declined in his play, and they kind of lucked into Alaric Jackson, who they ended up just extending, but a guy who has started in this league for a few years, has the frame to play tackle. Again, we were talking about competition. I'm not breaking the bank for that in free agency. If you don't go with one of these type of guys, you could get someone in the NFL draft. Matt Pryor, I don't think is that left tackle competition, but I think he's just O-line depth, right? Last year was the primary starter at right guard, did some good things. He can also play tackle. So if the Bears want like a quality number 6, number 7 offensive lineman that can play 4 positions, both guard spots, both tackle spots in a pinch, I think you could do a whole lot worse than Matt Pryor. Levi Onwzurike, the defensive lineman out of Detroit, gives you a little flexibility, can play some D-tack, can play a little edge. Obviously, Ben Johnson's an offensive guy, but he's been around him. Shouldn't cost a ton of money, knows the NFC North. If you want to get a 4th defensive tackle in there, he could be a guy that could fit that mold. How about Za'Darius Smith? Za'Darius Smith, who the Lions traded for at the deadline last year from Cleveland, played pretty well last year. He's still a guy who can rack up sacks, decent enough run defender. The only NFC North team he has yet to play for in his career is the Chicago Bears. Also, remember, he had a pretty ugly breakup with the Packers, so maybe he'd be motivated to go up against them. Who knows? But I still think he can play. I still think the Bears could use another edge rusher despite signing Odeyingbo. And Smith, he's just that. He's a professional pass rusher. I think on a 1 or 2 year deal at an affordable price is something I'd be interested in. Von Miller next up. Now, historically, he plays more in a 3-4. He doesn't have that Dennis Allen prototype, but he also just knows how to play. Now, he's kind of diminished. He's not what he was even just a few years ago. But if you want to just get a speed rusher that can be a situational pass rusher, you could do a lot worse than Von Miller. He's played in a lot of high-leverage games. He's had a lot of big-time moments in the NFL. He could teach some young guys a thing or two about how to rush the passer. Again, past his prime, 35, 36 years old, but on a 1-year cheap deal, I'd be in. Do the Bears need another pass rusher? What say you? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I don't think you can ever have enough, and I do think they need another one, so I'm typing my Y for yes. How about Juan Thornhill, a name we have not discussed? He got cut by Cleveland before free agency. Ryan Poles was in the Chiefs front office when they drafted him, I think 6 years ago, 2019. That sounds about right. Can play both safety spots. The Bears could use some depth at safety, a reliable number 3 guy that could step in and play if Kevin Byard or Jaquan Brisker go down. I think they need to hedge at that position. Thornhill could be that guy. Julian Blackmon, I think, is more of like a starter. Thornhill could start too, but I think you could sell him on being a number 3. I'm not sure you could sell Blackmon on that. If you sign Julian Blackmon, former college teammate of Jalen Johnson, by the way, I feel like you're making him a starter. So does that mean you're moving on from Brisker, Byard to $7 million? I'm not sure, but Julian Blackmon can play both safety spots, which is something Dennis Allen values, and is still a solid pro as well. Xavier Woods, I think, is probably more in that Juan Thornhill range. I know he racked up some stats, but I think he's a solid starter, but you might be able to get him as a third safety. He could play in some 3 safety looks. He could start for you if you move on from one of the other guys, so keep an eye on him in the mix as well. All right, there you have it. Some free agents that are still out there that I would be interested in that you won't have to break the bank for. Let me know again in the comments who you would like to see the Bears sign. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hopefully next time you see me, I sound a little bit better. Bear down.